Yes, guys, new series I'm starting called This Week in Tennis. Basically, I'm recapping what just happened last week and talking about what we have to look forward to in the week upcoming as we transition. Today, January 9th, it's a Sunday, just concluded 3 tournaments, very busy week. The most notable one being the ATP Cup, kind of like the World Cup, Battle of Nations, a lot of nationalism and pride on the line in tennis. And who would have thought that when it comes to countries, sitting atop the throne right now is Canada. Would not have predicted that. But yes, they defeated the Spanish giants in Pablo Carreno Busta and Roberto Bautista Agut earlier today. It was a two-man show, really, when it comes to Canada. Felix Auger-Aliassime and Denis Shapovalov, a lot of firepower from those two youngsters, basically bearing the weight of the world on their shoulders alone. It's a team tournament. Usually it's like 4 or 5 guys rotating throughout the singles and doubles lineup. Now when it comes to Canada, they quickly realized their Canadian cohorts, their talent level was not going to cut it. And so it was Felix and Dennis doing it all, playing singles and then transition to the doubles. Just a two-man wrecking ball going all the way and taking the title. Very, very impressive by them. Players that were hot in that tournament include Dan Evans from England going 3-0, Yannick Sinner from Italy going 3-0. I'm afraid their teams let them down and they were not able to escape the group stage. Hubert Hurkacz from Poland playing some great tennis, going 3-0 in the round robin and making it to the semifinals against another man who went 3-0 in the round robin, Roberto Bautista Agut. If you're into tennis highlights, go check out that matchup from the semifinals, Hurkacz versus RBA. Absolutely spectacular tennis from both sides of the court. So that's that for the ATP Cup. Let's transition now to the next tournament, which was Melbourne 1. Otherwise known as the Melbourne Summer Set. This final featured French-American Maxime Cressy, the former UCLA Bruin, coming all the way from the qualifiers, just bulldozing his way through 2 rounds of qualies, beating a no-namer in the round of 32, eventually clashing with fellow American Riley Opelka in a battle of attrition, going to 3 sets between the two giants. And very interesting storyline in that one. Opelka had his number, had won the first set, and then a bird pooped on his head. That's right, folks. A pigeon just dropped a deuce on Opelka's hat, threw him off his game, and Cressy was able to ride that wave of momentum all the way to victory. Eventually facing off with Grigor Dimitrov in the semis, who's my favorite player, and upsetting both Dimitrov and myself by going all the way to the finals against none other than the Spanish bullwhipper Rafa Nadal, who impressively extends his own record of consecutive years making a final, extending it to 19, I believe, starting in 2004. So 19 years in a row now, Nadal not necessarily has won a final, but at least has been present in a final. Maxime Cressy just went through the long road he had to take to get there. In contrast, Nadal had to play a round of 16, won in 2 sets, had a walkover in the quarterfinals, and played Rusevori, the Finnish youngster, beat him in straight sets in the semis. So Nadal played 4 sets. That's right, a meager 4 sets to get to the final versus Cressy coming all the way from qualies. It would go to a tiebreak in the first set, and the American Cressy had a look at a set point, was not able to capitalize, and Nadal would punish him for that, eventually taking the first set and winning 6-3 in the second. So that was the Melbourne Summer Set. The final tournament was Adelaide 1, which featured Gael Monfils, the Frenchman, in similar fashion, extending the same record of consecutive years making a final to 1 less than Rafa, but still very impressive, extending his to, what would that be, 18, I believe, starting in 2005. He faced off with the Russian Karen Khachanov and beat him in straight sets. For all of you tennis enthusiasts that are really into gear and equipment, Monfils, now with Artango, dropped his ASIC sponsorship, and his Wilson blade is now wields an Artango racket. Not really sure what that company is. I guess they're from France, but for all of you tennis enthusiasts that wanted to know that. Other headlines from that tournament: Kokkinakis, the Special K, one of the two, the other one being King Kyrgios himself, back in action, playing some of the best tennis of his life. Really, really glad to see that he's ripping some balls left and right and getting some dubs under his belt, because he's an exciting youngster from Australia that I'm happy to see doing well. He would face off with Monfils, eventually losing them in the semis, but he had a great run, so good stuff there from Kokkinakis again. And Monfils takes the title, as I mentioned. If you want to see some riveting highlights, go check out his match against Carundolo, the youngster from Argentina, in the earlier stages of that tournament. He was off the charts, really off the charts all week. Just an entertainer on center stage, but that match in particular, he was putting on a show for all of us to enjoy. All right, so that concludes what just happened. Let's take a look at what we have to look forward to this week. All right, so the first tournament we have to look forward to is Adelaide 2. Gael Monfils, the number 1 seed. Can he go back-to-back? All the pressure rides on his shoulders, being that he is the highest seed. He's in fine form, we know that, so should expect to see plenty more highlights from Gael. Hashanov, the finalist that lost to Monfils, the number 3 seed. Who else do we have here? Mackie McDonald, UCLA Bruin, Francis Tiafoe, and Tommy Paul. There's 3 Americans right there. Tiafoe and Paul, in a bit of a blockbuster in the round of 32, will face each other, so keep your eyes open for that. Kokkinakis, as I mentioned, in fine form, evidenced by last week, playing against the bearded Frenchman Benoit Paire. I am sure that has just dripping with drama. We're going to see plenty of racket smashes in that one, so keep your eyes open as well. And then rounding off the initial draw at the bottom, the number 2 seed, all 6'10" of him, Johnny Isner, the American Giant. So a lot of talent in this one. Looking forward to what that one has in store for us. Adelaide, that was Adelaide 2. All right, now we move on to the Sydney Tennis Classic. Number 1 seed, the Russian Aslan Karatsev. Who else we got? Kecmanovic, the Serb. Sonego, the loud and obnoxious Italian, playing the short in stature Hugo Gaston. That's a riveting matchup. I'll be looking forward to that one. Danny Evans, the number 3 seed, playing some fine tennis. Again, 3-0 last week in the ATP Cup, despite not making it out of the round robin stage. Maxime Cressy, just talked a lot about him. He'll be playing some tennis in this tournament. And then, ooh, baby, King Kyrgios, Nick, back in action on the tennis courts in his homeland. In the first round, he will be facing off with the suave Italian Fabio Fognini. So super pumped to see Nick facing off, playing some tennis again. Finally, it's about time, man. Who else we got? Only other person worth mentioning at the bottom of the draw, awarded a wild card spot, it's Andy Murray himself. He was taken out early last week, but we'll see if he can find some form here right before the Australian Open starts here shortly. So I do like Andy, and I will be pulling for him. That's all I really got. Let me know what you think about this format. Let me know what you think about this new series. Give it a like. Consider subscribing. Trying to grow this channel. Whatever you do, man, remember that at Trashman Tennis, it's about the tennis trash we've been. See you on the next one.